Alright, so now we've caught up to the beginning of the movie where she enters the convenience store. So all of that happened and we finally caught up.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah.
I like that I totally forgot about that whole, like, murder that she did at the opening.
Yeah, and then it doesn't, I mean, it shows her like walking into the convenience store, but it doesn't show that scene again, which is good, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't think
but,
it shows
like,
that scene again.
I guess if they don't, like, I mean, that's weird, especially just in this movie, I think, right? Like,
The
I don't
way it
know.
jumps so far back and then works its way
Yeah,
up chronologically. I mean, I know some movies do that,
I just feel
but
like, yeah, it's just they
it's
showed a
just,
lot
yeah,
in between, like,
yeah.
from point A to B. It's just
And
like
it
a,
wasn't even, that was like the first person that she killed. So it's weird for the opening voiceovers to be like, I wonder what old Cassie would think of me now. The Cassie that's a killer. And I'm like, you killed one person? Like, and you weren't too upset about it. You're just like, oh man, that was a cross. It wasn't a gun. Like, there wasn't a scene where she was like crying or like,
and
I don't
also,
know.
we don't know anything about the old Cassie other than she liked to use her phone, had a family and a crush, and was
A
on the
soccer player.
soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe old Cassie would have just been like, yeah, be aggressive.
Yeah. So then she comes to a highway, and this scene is really weird because it's it looks like a scene out of Left Behind, and I don't understand why that happened. There's just like cars in the middle of the road. I'm like, is that from the electromagnetic pulse? That's kind of weird because like windows are busted out, and I don't know. It just seems like a stereotypical post-apocalyptic scene that I feel like they were like, oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be an awesome shot, but it just doesn't make much sense to me in the format of the movie, I guess. Because
Yeah.
even if your car stopped, if the engine stops, you still have forward momentum. It's not like you would just like all of a sudden come to a dead halt, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when you run out of gas and stuff. I don't know. Um, so there's dead people everywhere too, which I don't know why. There's dead people there. But there's also a fresh cigarette, which now that I'm thinking about it, they never explain that. Um,
Oh. Oh, so it's not like she's like, oh, someone must be here.
well, someone shoots her, but she gets like sniped, so that means they're hiding somewhere. So I don't know why there's a fresh cigarette, and then they like ran behind, like up a mountain or something. Um,
Yeah. This movie, it's like so weirdly close to like making sense every single time.
just misses.
Yeah.
Um, and sh- it shows the cigarette that's like still smoldering, and she steps on it. I'm like, yeah, make sure you put that out. We don't want anything to burn down. So she gets shot in the leg, and she like rolls under a car. Um, and then there's like a 20-second scene where she's just like in pain, I guess, under the car. Um, and then she gets up and is running and shooting like behind her while she's running with a pistol. So I don't know what that thought process was. I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, she's a dumb teenager. She doesn't know how to use a gun. But it just looked so ridiculous.
I mean, and she already killed the guy, right?
Yeah, and she had an M16, but I don't know what happened to it. She was using a pistol.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah. And then she collapses like on the side of the road,
Hmm.
and then the scene changes.
Oh, okay, good.
There's more child indoctrination. They're getting like debriefed by the colonel. They're all in like jumpsuit, like kind of flight suit looking things, and they're standing in the barracks, and they're getting debriefed, and the colonel is like, "The fifth wave is upon us." Ooh, title drop, first title drop.
Woo!
It's the next attack. Uh, they say the fifth wave is upon us, but they don't know what it is. So
I
they're
guess they're
like,
just
it's the
like,
fifth wave, it's the next attack. We don't know what it is, but
yeah.
if it's successful, there will be no more humans.
Oh.
But we don't know what it is.
Yeah. I just, I guess, because they never even told us how much time happened between the one, two, three, four waves. Right? They just
Yeah,
sort
I
of
have no
happened.
idea what the timeline is of this at all.
But, yeah, so we don't even know how long they went without phones and all that. And we don't even really know. Do we know how much time has passed from the bus, this
Nope.
kid
Well,
army, and this wave? And
it's been like a couple days, I think. And while the colonel is talking and giving them their pep talk, there's like a montage underneath it of them training. So like doing obstacle courses and stuff.
oh, this is also late on the draw, but like, why do we need his point of view when Cassie already just knows stuff that happens away from her anyway?
Yeah, I think it's just because her brother is there, and also he was established as the crush, so I guess that's why.
Okay.
But I mean, that one scene where it's out of her point of view and it's like the tsunami, that's the
Mm-hmm.
only time that happens. Now it's either in Ben's point of view or Cassie's point of view. There's not like, oh, and here's something else going on over here.
That's so
Nope.
weird. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
Um, and then the pep talk ends with him saying something that requires a sir, yes, sir, of course, because that's the only way to end talks in the military, as we all know. Um,
Yes.
and it's really adorable because it shows her little brother, who's supposed to be like 8, yelling, sir, yes, sir, and it's not threatening at all, and it's not even sad. It's just super cute.
Oh, that sounds like real adorable.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it shows Ben, and he's not even talking at all. He's just looking
when
kind
the
of
kid, when
kind
the
of just
kid,
there.
oh, Ben, he's. When the kid says, sir, yes, sir, does the soldier, like, have a little, like, okay, you moment, or
Well,
does
no, because it's like
nobody?
there's like probably 150 kids in
Oh,
this
okay.
area, so yeah.
Alright. In my head, I pictured him, like, at the front, just because movie,
No, he
but
was like in the
okay.
middle.
Oh, alright. Well.
Yeah.
Anytime there's something I want this movie to give me, they just, like, decide they hate me and don't do it. Okay. That's fine.
All right, well, that's the end of that scene. So
Okay.
we go back to Cassie. She wakes up in a bed. Her leg is bandaged, and she somehow has an IV with like the drip, like the saline drip or whatever, or antibiotics. I don't know. It doesn't really explain what it is. And oh no, her gun is missing. She gets out of bed and like walks over to her backpack and is rifling through it. And she says out loud, "Where's my gun?" So you know what she's looking for. Um, and then she hears someone coming upstairs, so she jumps back in the bed and very convincingly pretends to be asleep. Um, and then the it's of course a hot guy, because why wouldn't it be, that saved her.
Ooh,
And he's like,
yowza.
"I know you're awake, Cassie. I know you're awake." And then she's like, "Oh, how do you know my name?" And he was like, "Driver's license, duh."
Like, I just woke up from passing out. Don't need to sass me. Like, I
Um,
don't know you.
and then he goes, "My name is Evan. Evan Walker." You know how everybody introduces themselves.
Yeah.
First name, last name.
Yeah.
Um, that's how I introduce myself. My name's Rogue, romantic Rogue.
Every time.
Every time.
Zax. Zaxers.
um, and then she's like, "Oh, where's my gun?" And he says, "I didn't see a gun when I picked you up out of the side of the road." Um, and then he like throws the covers off of her and is like, "Oh, what did you do? Your leg looks so much worse." For some reason, and he scoops her up because that's romantic. Scoops her up in his arms and carries her to the bathroom, and it's really uncomfortable. Um, and then he treats her leg some more, and that's also very uncomfortable because she's
Oh.
just like making these pained sounds the whole time, but
They don't come
they
off as
don't.
like in pain. It's like
Yeah,
sizzle.
yeah.
Like,
Um,
ew.
and then we find out that she's been asleep for a week. So
Oh.
that's really the only like point of reference in terms of like time frame that we get. So I don't know.
And that doesn't really
Um
help
at
figure out
all.
anything, yeah.
And also the
Okay.
fact that she was asleep for a week. Like I feel like the state of her wound should have been like I know it was a gunshot, but the way that he treated it was so um well done, I guess, that I feel like it should
Yeah.
have been more healed at that point than it was if it had been a week. Especially because she wasn't moving it or anything.
Yeah, and like, yeah, should have
Yeah.
been, but I mean, they might
So
as
then
well have
it,
just not told us how long she was out for, honestly.
I know it really serves no relevance other than to be like, I can't believe she was passed out for a week. That's insane.
Yeah,
How
who
did she
does
not
that?
die? Yeah. How did she not die in this stranger's house and not being in a hospital? And where did he get this IV bag from? Um,
Does he have like a grandma or something? Like,
no, it's just him, and it's like a farmhouse. It's not like inner
oh.
city. It's yeah, I don't know. Um,
Well, maybe the
so
cows need IVs. I don't know.
um, so it cuts to them in the kitchen,
Hmm.
and she tells him where she's going and why, and all he says is, "You should eat." Um, and then he's like, I couldn't save my family, but I could save you. It makes me feel more human." And then she's like, "Oh, you need help feeling human?" And he goes, "Don't you?" And then she just looks really introspective for a second, and then the scene changes.
Oh, okay. Definitely thought they were about to canoodle. My
Not
bad.
quite yet, because she's like, "Why did you save me?" And he was like, "I couldn't save my family, but I could save you." So she's like still cautious about him.
Okay.
Um, so back at the military base, the kids are playing cards, like hardened soldiers,
Oh
sitting
my
around a box
gosh.
playing cards.
Oh my gosh. Now I want like a preschool to do a little play of Platoon. Ugh. Little like 5-year old Willem Dafoe.
Oh my gosh. Um, so they're getting someone new to their squad, and they're introduced to a hot, edgy goth girl named Ringer.
Oh,
Um, and she
Ringer.
has like raccoon eye makeup in the apocalypse, which is probably my favorite thing. I'm like, where did you get that?
Well,
And why do
like
you care?
maybe Cole.
Could be. Could be.
I
You're right.
don't know.
Um, and
That's great.
she's so edgy that she can tell when guys are staring at her butt while she's facing away from them. She's like talking to. So at this point, they all have super cute nicknames because that's what you do when you're in the army.
Yeah.
So Ben's nickname is Zombie. Sam's nickname is Nugget. They did a really poor job of establishing though. So they like will call each other by their nicknames, and I'm like, I have no idea who they're talking about. Who is that? Um,
Yeah.
she just goes by Ringer. I don't know if that's like her last name or something. Um, and yeah, so she's talking to Zombie and is like being intimidating, being like, I heard that the last guy left your squad because you're such a terrible squad leader or something. I don't know. He was afraid you were going to get him killed, which I didn't know you could just like move around squads. That's pretty cool, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
and then while she's talking to Zombies, some guy is just like staring at her butt, and she turns around and something, something, don't touch me. Which, I mean, that's fair, I guess. You shouldn't touch people.
Yeah.
Um, not that they had. And then he makes some snide comment, so she punches him in the throat. Because guess you can do
Ouch.
that.
Okay, so zombie,
Yes.
football guy, whatever. So they're gonna be a thing now.
Yes, clearly. It's his love interest.
That's weird, isn't it? Like, I mean, that's like one thing so far from what you've told me. I'll give the movie props for that, I guess. It's not often you see a movie sort of throw two people at each other and then be like, okay, we're gonna fall for different people now. So,
No, but that's what's weird about it, though, is like, why even establish that it was her crush in the beginning?
I guess. Well, okay, well, when you
Why
say
have
it
any of
like.
those scenes? The whole like that the party sequence and the football field sequence, the only reason was to establish that, oh, here's her high school crush. But if they're just going to go with different people, why does it matter? They could have just gone to the same high school or like been friends, like normal friends,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, yeah, okay, so I gave you a point, fifth
But
wave,
it's
but
a
you
little
lost
bit
it.
it's a little bit spicier than that. We'll get to it later.
Okay.
Okay. So now we cut back to Cassie again. They're still in the kitchen. Now she's using a map and she circles the military base. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently she already knew where it was, so I don't know why. Um, but then she looks out the window to watch Evan chop wood.
Oh
He's
no.
just chopping wood in the apocalypse.
Oh
Um,
my.
and then she like kind of smiles to herself, but then she goes a snooping and she's in his room.
Oh
And oh no, there's a
no.
loose floorboard. Better, I'm gonna open it because.
Uh,
And oh no, her gun is in there, and there's really ominous music. And then she's like,
well,
oh, yeah,
I mean, okay, like of all the things to find, that kind of makes perfect sense, I'd
yeah.
imagine.
I don't know
Like,
why she
I
was
don't.
like on board with him suddenly so quickly, and
I
then
mean, he was
now it's like,
chopping
oh,
wood,
yeah,
but so if you use an axe, that's cute, that's gorgeous. But if you like hide my gun, you touch a firearm, we're over. I don't know. That's weird because like he saved her life or whatever, however he found her. But I mean, if she comes to and she just who would want a gun right next to somebody who's about to wake up and probably panic, which she
right,
did.
exactly, yeah.
So I don't see
It
why.
is weird that he just like hid it under a loose floorboard though. Like you couldn't find a better hiding place than that. It was
I,
obviously pretty obvious.
yeah. I mean, I guess he figured like he didn't want to forget, so like he'd give it to her later and would be like, "Oh yeah, hey, hid this from you, but now we're cool, so you can have it." Like, I don't know.
I don't
She's
know.
I
um,
don't know why she went snooping anyway, like
I
in
know,
his
she was just like
room.
in his room and she's like looking at all these pictures of his family. I guess that's so that the movie could establish that he also had a family. But like, I
But
don't know why they keep trying to establish that because we get it. Everyone has a family. You don't
Yeah,
have to show us pictures to be like, oh yeah, this kid also had a family.
that's definitely what I don't get about this movie is it keeps trying to like make me feel things that like unfortunately I just never will for
Yeah.
like they showed us that whole thing like Cassie's just your normal girl. She had a crush. She's on the soccer team. She has a brother. Now they're all dead and she killed someone. Like I don't care. Just get to the alien. We saw the one come out of a brain, but like
Yeah.
are those like it?
Pretty much.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
hoping
They're
we
just like
got.
little brain hugger things. Um, all right, so she's like, "Oh no, my gun. He hid it from me. He lied to me. Gotta quickly pack my things and run away." And then she trips like an alarm tripwire in the woods.
Mhm.
Like one of those that has a bunch of cans tied to it. And
Oh, okay.
then and then Evan runs in and like tackles her and grabs her and covers her mouth and then just like holds her against a tree. And then there's like a hunter walking around the woods with a gun. And then there's a drone flying overhead.
Oh.
And that's the end of that scene. And then it cuts back to the house and um Cassie's like, "Oh, I can't believe it. They look so much like humans. Like exactly like humans." And then Evan's just like, "Yeah, they use those drones to hunt down survivors." Which, how do you know this? Um,
I well, yeah, okay. I don't.
Also, are the aliens? I'm confused about the tripwire thing too, because I assumed Evan put those up, but they're just like laying tripwires in the woods randomly, hoping to catch someone. That's so weird to me. When they're
I
like
mean,
this advanced form life form, and they're like using tin cans.
I just don't understand a lot of what these aliens are doing. Honestly, like it's not. I love watching movies and I love looking at like the villains and like where they go wrong. And here, these aliens, A for effort because they are going for this world domination thing. They
Yeah,
really are. But like you killed off a bunch of humanity. You're using a bunch of them as hosts. Why don't whatever your end game is, why don't you just do it and then like kill people on a need to kill basis? Like
yeah,
you see like whatever your little brains and code is, meep meep meep. Okay, you didn't do that, kill you, and like just continue on. Like you won pretty much, I believe. I don't. Right? Am I wrong? You don't
yeah.
need to set tin cans in the woods. That's just so like I mean, they're determined aliens, I guess.
They're
So
inefficient aliens, is what it is.
they have a
They're like,
bureaucracy.
yeah, they're like making this as hard as possible.
Yeah.
Um, so then Evan is trying to convince her not to go to the base because he's like, oh, the base is an obvious target. And she's like, are you trying to tell me that my brother is already dead? And then he just looks at her, which means yes, I guess. And she's like, no. So then he's like, fine, if I can't stop you, then I'm gonna go with you. Oh, also, like, in this scene, she's like, why did you take my gun? And he's like, because I was afraid you were gonna shoot me, which is fair. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, you already figured that out, but,
Yeah. I don't
um, yeah, so
yeah.
he's like,
Okay.
if, if I can't stop you, I'm gonna go with you. And she's just like, okay. Um,
Nice.
and now we cut back to the military base, and
Oh
there's
yeah. Have they fought any aliens or
nope, but there
something?
are kids sparring in this scene, so that's
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Um, and Ringer is being like all edgy and mean to Ben, zombie Ben. He's being referred to as exclusively zombie by now, so I don't know. Um, and then she does that whole like let me guess thing and just like narrates his whole life before the attack.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Like,
Okay, yeah,
let
I
me
know
guess. You
exactly.
were the star football player.
I hate that because, like, first of all, rude. Like, I'm sorry,
I
I'm nothing
know.
more. Like, we're all just people here. Sorry, like, I didn't go to the moon. Like, I don't know what
Also,
you
I'm like
expect.
16. I don't know what you want from me. Like,
Yeah, they're always like, let me guess, you have parents. Like, shut up. So do you. Like,
yeah. Well, and then he's like, "Oh, and you know all about everything that's going on." And she was like, "I'm a survivor. I was doing perfectly fine before they picked me up." And then she's like, "Why do you think we're here?" And she's like, "Oh, Ben says that we were rescued." But she's woke and she's like, "We weren't rescued. We were drafted."
dun dun dun. I don't
So
know.
then they spar and there's like this he's like, "So if I win, you have to teach us how to shoot. Like teach my squad how to shoot," which I guess it's been established that she's good at that. Um, but I don't know when it established that. I guess she's just good at everything.
I'm
Um,
assuming there's like 3 minutes of deleted scenes.
yeah, because then he like they spar and she kicks his butt, like obviously. But then
Yeah.
the next scene is she's teaching them how to shoot. So where was the scene where he won?
She was just like, you lost, but I'm nice, so I'll just give it to you
I guess.
anyway. Maybe. But honestly, that makes too much sense for this movie anyway. I don't think it even matters who won.
Well, so now we're back with Cassie,
Okay.
and she is sitting there talking to Evan, and is like, "Can you teach me how to disarm enemies?" Because she pointed her gun at him earlier, and he just like disarmed her right away. Um, she was like, I want to learn how to do that." And at first, he's like, "No, I don't want you to ever be in a situation like that. You stop acting so tough." And she's like, "I'm not tough. Stop saying that." Which is such a weird thing for a character to say.
Wait,
Stop
okay, wait.
saying I'm tough. I'm not tough. What?
He said, you need to stop acting tough. And she's like, what are you even talking about? I'm not tough at all.
Yeah, that's
That's,
exactly how the scene went.
that's so, you mwah, that's great. Love it. Okay, keep going.
So that scene happens. He teaches her how to do it. He's like, grab the barrel of the gun and snap my arm away, whatever. And it's weirdly flirty, and I don't like that. It was like, now, now, with your hand on my wrist, pull me towards you. So she like does the whole sequence, and then they're like pressed together, and they make the shy eye contact, weird teenager thing. I'm like, why did they turn this into flirting? I don't like that.
That's also weird too, because like I don't know. Whenever movies do that, because like whatever, like if you like someone and like you have like weird physical contact, you look at each other like whatever. But like you were like he was teaching you how to like fight. Why are you like weird? Why are you guys weird that you guys are like touching each other?
And you met him like 16 hours ago. Like,
Oh, it's only been that long. For some reason,
yeah.
wow, I thought this was like I don't know.
Like, she woke up and then was like, I have to go get my brother. And then,
Oh.
and then he was like, and then she finds the gun and then runs away. That all happened in the same day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So now I understand why it was weird that she was already coming around because he was a lumberjack.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Okay, I didn't. Oh wow, that's bizarre. Okay.
So that's definitely one of the like young adult tropes, I think, that's so clear in this
Yeah.
movie. Okay, so now we're back at the base. Ringer is teaching the children of the squad how to shoot. And this scene is funny too because like most of the people in the squad are like teenagers at least 13, 14. But
Mhm.
there's Sam, there's Cassie's little brother Sam, who's like supposed to be 8 or whatever. And then there's another little girl who's like 10 or 11, and she's so tiny, and it's just so funny to see. And I think it's supposed to be like a hardcore, like, oh, this is so sad that they're having children do this, but it just makes me laugh every time I see it. Like, oh, the little girl. Um, so she teaches them how to shoot in the worst way possible by saying, the gun is an extension of you. It's so generic. And no. And then I guess that works. And then Ben gets called in by the colonel, and the colonel, for some reason, is showing him all these simultaneous attacks on areas, and he's like, "It's the 5th wave." Another title drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So I
feel
guess
like...
the 5th wave was just attacking a bunch of cities.
Oh. But wait, if they could do that,
I know!
if that was on the table...
So then he's like, here's this super high-tech helmet that we built that has an X-ray in it so that you can see the others before they see you. Which, not necessarily, he says before they see you, but not necessarily, because you have to be able to, like, it's just an X-ray. That's all it is. It's not like, I don't know, maybe they can see through walls or something. Who
Maybe
knows?
they can see who doesn't have an alien in their brain, maybe.
We'll come to
But,
that later. That gets explained.
but like, this movie, like, we're like 3/4 deep, right?
Yeah.
So, like, this is a lot of,
Maybe
like,
2/3.
2/3. But, like, I still feel like nothing's happened.
Right? Yes.
Like,
Okay.
it's just like, we're just kind of like, oh no, tragic backstory. Everyone's got one. I'm in the woods trying to find my brother. I'm a cute little soldier. And, like, we're just gonna mess around the platoon. Like, what?
I feel like it's all just set up. Like, all of it is set up. And nothing's
Yeah.
happened.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, so now we're back with Cassie. She wakes up. They're, like, they slept in the forest in, like, a lean-to. She wakes up and she's looking for Evan. She's like, Evan! And he's not answering. Even though he's taking a sexy bath in the lake and she can see him. So he could probably hear her calling, but he doesn't realize that she's right behind him, staring strangely at him. Like you do.
Yeah.
And then he, like, turns around and she runs away. That was important. That was character development, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So then they're together and they're looking at pictures that Cassie has in her backpack. And she has, like, photos of her and her best friend, and she's like, oh, this was my best friend. And Evan goes, she looks like she's funny.
Huh.
Like, how do you tell that from a picture?
Oh my gosh.
That is so weird.
Well, remember...
She's funny in real life, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing teenagers say.
They just, yeah. I guess you just comment on how funny people are.
Yeah.
In real life and in pictures.
Honestly, though, I've known you too long, so I can't say if you're funny or not. We
That's
missed
fair.
that window.
Yeah. It's only when you first meet someone.
Yeah.
So then they're done being nostalgic. She has a newspaper article about Ben, and he's like, oh, this must be Ben. And she goes, oh no, you read my journal, which, why did he read her journal? That's so weird and creepy. And she just kind of, like, brushes it off, like, aw, man, you read my journal. Ugh, so embarrassing. But she's not like, that's really creepy and a huge invasion of privacy.
it is a huge invasion of privacy, but they have no TV. So
That's
I
why you
think
watch men chop wood and take
I'm.
baths.
He can't watch himself. Oh, he
Yeah.
watched her take a bath?
No, she watched him take a bath
Okay,
in the
yeah,
lake.
see? So he gets to read her journal. That's the
I don't
trade
think that's an
off.
I don't think that's an equal
You
exchange.
you ogle my body, I'll read your mind.
That's not an equal trade-off.
I mean,
Cuz guaranteed he's ogling her body too.
yeah, I mean, but still, like, he did save her life, and
He did.
he's bored, so I'll give him a pass. You know,
I
honest.
You are crazy. What a crazy thing to say.
You know, this movie, like, I'm just glad someone did something.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So, after that non-plot point, they are like, "All right, let's get moving." And he
Hmm.
goes, "This way." And she says, "How do you know without a compass?" But she didn't have a compass before either. When she was like, "All right, 80 miles to the military base. I'm going to get there." Like, it's so this movie is just ugh.
Yeah.
And then they find a car in the middle of the woods, and then the scene changes.
Oh,
Yeah, don't know what that car's doing there. They don't explain that.
they didn't need to.
Um, so Sam is talking to Ben about how scared he is, and then they talk about their names before their cute little nicknames. Sam is like, "What was your name before zombie?" Or "What was your real name?" Something. And then he tells him, and then Sam tells him his name, and then he's like, Sam says, um, "My sister used to sing me a song." And then he starts singing it, and it's really inappropriate at this point in time. It's so inappropriate for the situation.
I mean, it's accurate though now, right?
Yeah, but it's still like this is like an 8-year-old kid singing it, and um, Ben just joins in, and I think it's supposed to be like a sweet moment, like, oh, it's that song that his sister sang, but it's just I just didn't. I was like, wow, this should not be comforting for anyone, especially in this situation. They're like about to go on a mission soon. Bones sinking like stones. All that we fought for, homes, places we've grown, all of us are done for. Like that would make me sick to my stomach if I were in that situation and I had to sing those lyrics.
Well, you
That's not
know.
comforting. And then that scene ends. So glad we had that scene.
Hmm.
Especially because like the name thing, I don't even really know why that was brought up because it's not like there was a revelation like, "Oh, your last name is whatever." That's weird. That's I went to school with a girl with that last name. Like nothing like that happens. And we already knew their names. So why even it's just so weird. I think it's supposed to be
Yeah.
like a bonding moment, but it did not come across that way.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of things to bond about except like what your real name is. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore.
All right. So now we're with Cassie and
Hmm.
Evan, and they clean her wound, and it's weirdly flirty. They're like doing that thing where it's like, let me softly touch you with this whatever alcohol pad and stare in your eyes while I'm doing it, and like look at the wound and then look back up in your eyes.
That's
It's
really
so weird.
weird. It's also like just not like at this point, like it's the end of the world. You have no family. You have no idea where you're going. Like, what? What's stopping either of you?
Yeah.
Like, rejection? Who cares? Like, whatever you want from your lumberjack or your gun wound girl. Like, just take it.
Gunwound Girl
Like,
is my favorite anime.
yeah.
Um, so then they kiss and maybe do more. He like pushes her down and then the camera pans out. So I don't know if that was supposed to like
Ooh.
imply something. And
Okay.
they like in the very beginning of the movie when they were still in high school and she was talking with her friend, they had this weird scene because I think the writers think that all teenagers talk about sex all the time when they have crushes. So her
Mm-hmm.
friend is like, maybe you can have sex with him. I'm like, that's a weird thing for someone to say. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that was supposed to imply that more happened. Um,
Oh wait, so he pushes her down. They go to a flashback to the high school of that conversation.
no,
Oh,
no, I'm just
oh,
saying I didn't mention it
oh,
earlier.
oh. Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
I got lost. Okay, yeah, no,
So that's the end of that scene.
that's weird. I feel like they would have
Yeah,
made a big deal, like maybe about her virginity or something. Like I just don't know why else the friend would say that.
yeah. It was. I feel like it's just like teenagers talk like this.
Yeah. Does she have an ex
Um,
boyfriend at all? Do we even know if she's ever dated anybody before?
no idea.
Okay.
Um, so now we're back at the military base again, and they're going on their first mission, and they're in a helicopter, and um, someone is like, "Where's Nugget?" And someone else goes, "He has food poisoning," which I think that's just insane that you can be a soldier and get out of going on a mission by having food poisoning. Um,
I mean, especially like I love that. Like the world's coming to an end, guys. It's now or never. Let's go get 'em. Oh, cramps. Tomorrow.
well, but then it cuts to Sam, and he's like tied up to a door, like with bed sheets, I guess. I don't really know. And he's like, zombie, zombie. So I guess like Ben tied him up and said that he had food poisoning so that he wouldn't get hurt on the mission. Um, because he's little. But like I said, that's also just weird to me because there's a little girl there. Like she's little and she gets to go. No one's looking out for her. Um, so they reestablish, they're like, remember, the others will light up green in our visors. So then they land, they get shot at, and so then they start shooting the others. There's like a bunch of them. Um, they start to retreat for some reason. I guess they feel overpowered. So they hide in this bus, which just that's just such a bad idea. You just like you put yourself in a cage. Um, and someone on their squad gets shot and dies, but and he has a nickname,
Oh.
but I have no idea who it is. They don't establish any of the other characters on the squad. So it's supposed to be like, oh, they lost one of their friends, but no idea who it was.
You know what a definite missed opportunity of this movie? And tell me if, or maybe they did have it, I missed it. When they were giving them the nicknames, did they do like that montage where like one of them is like loading the gun, like zombie, you'll
No.
be you, and you're no, okay, well,
No, because here's the thing, it didn't even it established Ben's nickname in the physical when he was like, "Oh, they called me zombie in quarantine."
hmm
But nobody's else's the way they got their nicknames, it wasn't established. They were just all of a sudden calling Sam Nugget and the little girl Teacup, and I don't even know any of the other nicknames. Like that's why I have no idea who they were because they just called them that from the beginning without establishing.
I mean, if ever
Oh,
there
I'm
was
gonna be
an
called this.
yeah, if ever there was an argument to not turn books into movies, because I'm sure there was like I'm sure there's a reason they have
Right.
those nicknames in the
Yeah.
book.
I guess the plan is that one person acts as a distraction so that they can blow up the bus and hide somewhere else. Um, so of course Ringer is like, I'll be the distraction, cover me. Which I don't know how you're a distraction and also expect them to cover you. That's so then they put a grenade in the gas tank of the bus and blow it up, and then they're in some random building, and someone on the squad is like, none of this makes any sense. Why are they afraid of an army of children? And um, so they, Ringer decides to unenlist.
Hmm.
Um, and she takes out her chip implant. Um, but then, oh no, she's an other. And they can
What?
see. They're like, oh, you're an other. It's green. We can see the alien. So
Hmm.
are you catching on?
Uh, no. What am I supposed to get?
Okay, so now Ben takes out his implant. Oh
Okay.
no, he's an other too.
Whoa, what? Okay. They all are?
Okay, so they're about to,
What
well,
about the kid? The
they're about to
brother?
shoot. He's not there. He's tied up. He had
Oh,
food poisoning.
oh, right. Okay, he's the. They have too many names.
I
Okay,
know.
okay, gotcha. Okay,
So,
so he's the one who had
um,
food poisoning.
yeah, but not really.
Okay.
So they're about to shoot him, and he's like, "No, guys, it's the chips. They're they're blocking the signal." And okay, so anyway, he convinces them not to shoot him, and he is he figures everything out, and I guess Ringer did too. That the chip implants, everyone who has one, they see as a human, but everyone who doesn't, they see as an other, which means they're just killing other humans.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So that's like the big
So.
twist. Is that, oh, we're not
Oh.
killing aliens, we're killing humans.
Were there ever aliens?
So then they're like, oh, the army lied to us. Green doesn't mean alien, green means human.
But. Okay, wait. So they're killing each other, and the army's working for the aliens?
No, the army is the aliens.
No! It's so weird that this even had a twist at all, honestly.
Why?
I don't know, it's just kind of weird.
So, I don't know. As soon as I saw the chip implants, I was like, oh, like they're gonna be killing humans. Like I knew right away that that was what the twist was gonna be.
Oh my gosh,
Quote unquote twist.
that's
Um,
okay.
so real quick, let me go
Mhm.
back a little bit because this is
Okay.
insane. Um, when they blew up the bus on the set, um, their
Yeah.
pyrotechnics or whatever, it got out of control and destroyed a bunch of buildings in the city that they were
Like
filming
the actual
in.
fifth wave. Like the
Yes.
movie
Yeah.
in real
Yeah.
life. Whoa. What?
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
they
god.
were like, Yeah, it was a little larger than we anticipated, and it did like it broke windows and did damage to some of the insides of buildings. And they were like,
Whoa.
"Oh, we'll pay for it." This was insane,
That's, that should have been the movie.
right?
Oh, that's so sad. I can't believe they blew up a town. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so like
That's
the
great.
fire was all supposed to go upwards, but some of it went out horizontally and just like destroyed the surrounding buildings.
Wow, I guess they never miss, huh?
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So the army's aliens.
yes. Um, so they're like, "Oh no, we're killing the survivors. Oh no." So, they this line is very good. They say, "We're not fighting the fifth wave. We are the fifth wave." Two title
Oh!
drops in the same line.
I love the title drop. I like any time that they're like, we thought this was the thing, but we're the thing. I love that. That's
Yeah,
great.
that is
That's
all always very good.
yeah.
Um, so then they're like, well, we can't go back to the military base because that's where the aliens are. And then Ben is like, oh no, I left Sam there. I was trying to keep him out of trouble, but now he's in danger. Um, and then he asks someone on the squad who is also a child where he can take a bullet in the torso and not die. And I don't know what establishes this child as having that extensive knowledge of human anatomy to be like, oh yeah, just I feel comfortable giving you advice on this. And then, I mean, to be fair, the kid is like, I really don't feel comfortable with that. And then Ben is like, trust me, Ringer can make the shot. Just tell me where it needs to go. Oh,
Okay. I mean,
it's all so bad.
that's maybe like in the book he was always reading up on like things like that. Like he
I
was
mean,
like,
I'm sure his nickname had something to do. It was probably like House or something because he was like a med geek. All
okay,
right, now we have another scene change. Back with Cassie.
good. Missed her.
um, they're just Evan starts fighting someone and tells Cassie to run. But the scene is really dark, so I couldn't really see what was happening. And I remember this being the case both times I watched it. Um, there's just a lot of fighting noises going on though. And Cassie ends up getting in on the fighting. Because Evan gets downed at some point. He's like prone. So she's like, oh no, I gotta help him. So she gets in on the fighting in basically the most useless way possible.
Mhm.
She like slams the tailgate of the car that they were in into someone, and then that's pretty much all she does. Um, but Evan is like super good at fighting, and he tosses a grown man about 15 feet.
Oh, wow.
So then Cassie freaks out and points her gun at him and tells him to drop his gun. They've incapacitated all of the people fighting them. We don't know if they were aliens or not. They were just randos. Um,
Like people who are just like, we're looking for a place to live, they just beat up or
I don't
like,
know. There was no lead up. It was just like, oh, I guess they're fighting people now.
oh, okay.
Um, so she's pointing her gun at him and he's like, "What are you? You're an other." And then he's just like, "No, I'm both other and
What?
human."
What?
Um,
That's what?
and he
No.
tells her that this is not the first time the others have come, that they were here before and they created sleeper agents that are human and other.
What?
And when the ship arrived, the sleeper agent in him woke up. It was like a switch flipped. He just started killing humans.
Why didn't he kill her?
Interesting. That's a good question. Because he says the others believe love is a trick, a way to protect your genetic future, which that's weird. Um, because why would that be a
So,
trick?
so Cassie's he he didn't kill her because there's a chance they can make babies.
And then he says, I believed that until I saw you. Which is funny because the first time he saw her, he was about to shoot her and he has like a sniper rifle and he looks at her through the scope and sees her and then just like lowers his gun. I'm like, you saw her through a scope and fell in love with her? A plus romance right there.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay. Wait. So love is a trick, but I mean, it could still be a trick. It just happened. He just fell for it, I guess. Like, that's weird to call it a trick when, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know how brain goo others reproduce, but, like, that's what humans do. That's weird. That's so
yeah,
bizarre. I don't like that. That's,
right?
you know, like I'm trying to like make sense of this world, this movie, my life, and like all of it makes no sense and I don't care, but like this whole scene really gets me and I don't like that. I feel attacked.
He's like, he tells her, when I saw you, the switch flipped back, and you made me want to be human again. And this is before he even says anything to her. He just sees her fumbling around in the woods trying to shoot at birds because she thinks it's aliens. And then, of course, reasonably so, she asks if he's the one that shot her. And he said, "No, I was protecting you." So he just like creeps on her after seeing her that first time, through his scope and deciding that he was in love with her. He just started following her to keep her safe. So someone else shot her in the leg, and then he sniped that guy, and that's how he found her. Was he was just creeping on her, and he says, "Love's not a trick; it's real."
And
Sorry.
she says, "Ah, you're a monster. Get away from
Pretty
me."
much. Yeah.
Okay, good. I was,
Yeah.
I didn't believe that that was what she was going to do. I thought it was going to be the thing where she was like, you're right. Ah. Okay, so that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
1/2 point for Cassie.
Yeah. So she doesn't believe him, and then he says, uh, "They're preparing the kids to kill the last of the humans." I guess he knows that because he's a sleeper agent. And then she just leaves and is like, "Don't follow me." And then that's the end of that scene. And then we're back at the base, and Ben is returning in the helicopter and tells some army lady, they ask where the rest of his squad is, and he said
Hmm.
they're all dead. And then the scene changes back to Cassie.
Yeah.
She throws herself in front of a school bus on a road so that she can be taken to the base. Um, and then she goes through the same process that Ben went through. She's like in the exam room, getting a
Hmm.
physical with the same creepy nurse lady, but she beats up the nurse because she knows that they're the aliens and takes her uniform and it fits her perfectly even though she's like a foot shorter. Um, now she's just walking down the halls in the uniform trying to find her brother. Uh, back with Ben now, but at least now they're in the same place. They're both at the military base.
Oh,
Um,
good.
he's debriefing with the colonel and tells him all lies about, his squad dying and being overpowered and stuff. And then the colonel is like, I know you're lying to me, and I know you know something about us. What do you know? And then Ben just tells him everything he knows. I'm like, you're not even going to try and keep up a ruse? You're not going to try to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's just like, I know that you're aliens. I'm like, oh, you stupid child.
You know, that's what all movies do. Like they always just give away their hand way too soon. Like they'll
Yeah,
be like they'll like if they know someone knows something, they'll like pull out the recorder and be like, I have it all here. Then like, pew, you're dead. Now you don't have anything, you idiot.
yeah. It's so strange. Um, so Ben asks him, like, what did humans ever do? Why are you doing this? And the colonel says the humans did nothing except occupy a space we need. And then there's this weird environmental message where Ben says, that's horrible. We would never do something like that. And the other says, humans have been wiping out species for centuries.
I mean,
So that was weird.
yeah, that's. I mean, but also like they needed the room. So again, and I know this is like silly to ask at this point, but like they could just blow everybody up.
Yeah,
So why are you doing this roundabout way? Like literally cut out the middleman and just blow them up. Like, I don't know how much manpower or alien power you have on your ship, but if you just like start going pew pew and lighting everything on fire, it's a wrap and you could just start over.
yeah, they are very inefficient.
That's so weird. Like, I can't even really enjoy the we are the fifth wave because it's just dumb. You should have never been given the chance to be the fifth
Why were
wave.
there so many waves?
Like honestly though, and like why'd they stop the cars?
I don't know.
I guess they wanted to cut down on like gas emissions or something, but like
No, it's because humans are useless without cars. They also don't ever talk about what happened to like animals. I'm surprised there's
y-
not more people riding around on horses.
you know, yeah, that would have made like especially since they were farming, like it's not like this is like such a crazy sci-fi world where like
Yeah,
humans don't even remember that things used to happen a certain way. That's it's not even over, huh? Like
no, it's almost
and
over.
but like this whole twist and like sort of other twist and then Cassie's love life or whatever. And like no, I also don't like that because now she's gonna get back with football guy. That's weird. Okay. Alright, keep going.
So, while they're talking in the debriefing room, there's explosions coming from inside the base. And then it cuts to
No.
Cassie, who's just running down the halls. And then we never see Ben leave the debriefing room, but he's just in the halls now. And they run into each other, and Cassie gets to use her fancy disarming technique that she learned earlier that she hasn't used except for this moment when she didn't even need it because it was someone they knew. They realized that they knew each other from high school. And then Ben helps her find her little brother, which I don't. For all the assumed bonding they did, um, he never found out that his older sister was Cassie. That's so weird to me.
Yeah.
All right, so they find the well, they start looking for the little brother because now they're evacuating all of the kids because they're under attack. Um, and then the soldiers find them in a restricted area and tell them to get on their knees and drop their weapons. And then Evan drops down from the ceiling and beats up the soldiers. No explanation of why he was in the ceiling or how he got there.
His food
Um,
poisoning went away.
but that was probably my favorite scene. No, Evan is the lumberjack.
Oh, right. Okay. Whoa.
That
Whoa.
is
Oh,
probably my favorite scene in the movie. It was so ridiculous.
that's beautiful. I'm so glad he was there to help.
To drop from the ceiling. And then
Yeah.
there's this weird,
Was it a
like,
glass
high.
ceiling?
No, it was not. It was like ceiling tiles.
Oh, okay.
There was this weird, like, high school jealousy scene that was so out of place where
Oh, Ben
Evan,
and football guy.
yeah, Evan is looking at Cassie and is like, who is he? And Cassie goes, oh, he was just here, I guess. Like, she's so coy about it. Like, oh, we went to high school together and he was, you know, like,
Yeah, I mean,
she acts like she got caught doing something.
yeah, he's an alien sleeper agent. You don't owe him an explanation. Also, why are you jealous? Because, like, she was in the middle of a dangerous thing. You just saved her. This guy was also trying to save her. Like, I don't. That,
Yeah.
yeah, no place for it. You're right. You said it. There was no place for
So,
that.
so then there's this weird scene between them. I know I'm using weird a lot, but like all of it is just so awkward and not smoothly done. Um, there's this strange scene between Evan and Cassie while Ben is standing there, just standing waiting, where Evan says, I choose to be human. And then they make out. Evan and Cassie just make out with Ben standing there and like explosions going off and they're supposed to be finding Sam. But sure, we can just stop and make out because I said I choose to be human. Um,
I okay. Well,
yeah, and then oh yeah, Evan was planting the bombs because of course he was. So that's how the bombs happened. We don't know
but
how he made them or how
oh
he got there so fast and planted them so fast.
wow. Okay. So so now the gang's all together.
Except for Sam. They're still looking for him.
Hi. So you guys just finished listening to part 2. Like I said, this ran really long, so it's gonna be 3 parts, and you'll see the final part next week. Thanks for hanging in there. Bye.